for only a few people in every generation. As grateful individuals and institutions, we have gathered here today to tell your story once more. We have assembled not because it has Zaria, where he obtained his first level certificate in 1972. He acquired his West African School certificate from Government Secondary School, Katsina, and in 1976, and his IJMB certificate from Katsina College of Art, Science and Technology in 1979. He proceeded to the Ahmadu Bello University, where he brought his LLB honors in 1982, and in 1983 he obtained his BA certificate from the Nigerian Law School, Lagos. He later returned to Ahmadu Bello University in 2008, where he acquired his LLM in International and Criminal Law. Honorable Ishaq Bello also received honorary doctorate degree in law in Caribbean University. He started his law career as a youth corps member in 1983 at the Ministry of Justice in former Edo State. He went into private practice in 1994 and worked as a legal practitioner in Umaru Yabo and Co. in Sokoto State. He was appointed a magistrate in 1985, and in 1987 he became the head of Legal Recovery Department at Universal Bank of Nigeria PLC, Kaduna. Honorable Ishaq Bello rose through the ranks to the judiciary and became a judge in the High Court, FCT. Between 1979 and 2015, he was made the chief judge of the High Court, FCT Abuja in 28 May 2015 to date. Honorable Ishaq
symposia and seminars around the world. He has written significant publications and presented papers geared toward advancing the judiciary. He is also a member of notable professional bodies. On the 21st day of March 2015, Ishaq Bello was sworn in, my lord, was sworn in as acting chief judge of FCT following the retirement of the former FCT Chief Judge, Justice Ibrahim Boka. And while conducting the swearing-in ceremony, the then Chief Judge, Justice of Nigeria, Mohammed challenged him to uphold the tenets of the court and make sure that justice was properly administered to everyone, no matter their standing in the society. Justice Ishaq Bello's appointment as the substantive Chief Judge of the Federal Capital Territory was confirmed on the 28th day of May 2015 as Chief Judge of the FCT. Worthy of mention is my Lord's appointment by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as the Chairman of Presidential Committee on Prison Reform and Decongestion, now Presidential Committee on Correctional Service Reform and Decongestion. The Presidential Committee, which was inaugurated on the 31st day of October 2017 by the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation, the Minister of Justice and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami SN, is saddled with the responsibility of carrying out a comprehensive audit of Nigerian prison systems with a view to accelerating its decongestion and develop long-term strategies to combat congestion, as well as promoting the reformative role of correctional services. Extensive work has been done under my Lordship's leadership, and after visiting 34 correctional services centers in 16 states of the Federation, and while conducting on-the-spot assessment on the conditions of the correctional centers, as well as general review of peculiar cases. Over 7,000 inmates have been released so far, and a national summit has been held at which far-reaching recommendations to the President were made by my Lord. Amongst other remarkable achievements was that my Lord's led committee was instrumental to the speedy passage of Nigerian Correctional Service Bill by the National Assembly and subsequently signed into law by the Nigerian Correctional Service Act by the President, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, on the 14th day of August 2019. It was indeed a major turning point in the correctional service reform and justice sector delivery in Nigeria, and mark another milestone in our national strategy towards decongesting the custodial centers, which has been a national challenge that had lingered for a very long time. Following the enactment of the Nigerian Correctional Services Act 2019, there was the need to review the Federal Capital Territory Sentencing Guidelines Practice Direction 2015. To this, a technical working committee was put in place by the Federal Ministry of Justice in collaboration with my Lord's-led committee, which, with the support of development partners, on Monday, 2nd day of November 2020, at the ceremonial court of the FCT here, where we are today, my Lord signed off the Federal Capital Territory Court's Custodial and Non-Custodial Sentencing Practice Direction 2020. The sentencing practice directions was subsequently unveiled on Thursday, 5th November 2020 during the National Summit for Effective Correctional Service System Reform and Negotiation in Nigeria. Honorable Justice U.I. Bello was made a live bencher by the Nigerian Body of Benchers in 2019. He was nominated to be Nigerian candidate for 2020 judicial elections of the International Criminal Court based in Hague, Netherlands. He is an active member of the following bodies: National Judicial Council, Nigerian Body of Benchers, Nigerian Bar Association. Honorable Justice Bello has a number of publications to his credit, among which are paper on judicial integrity presented by UNODC in Vienna representing Nigeria in 2012, comparative analysis of penal code, criminal code, the Criminal Procedure Act of the Northern and Southern States delivered at the Nigerian Law School. Also, the Bench Book of Best Practices in 2017. As a judge, his decision the decisions demonstrated peculiar clarity and preciseness of thought, as well as a capacity to use the law as an instrument to do substantial justice rather than as a technical impediment against the rights of the aggrieved. In particular, we cannot forget his abiding interest in the use of judicial system to foster social stability and development. Most of all will remember the Apple 6. I must not conclude this address without commending my Lord on his promotion and discipline within the Nigerian profession, legal profession, throughout his years on the bench. His continuous advocating legal practitioners, whether at the bar or the bench, should hold themselves up to the highest moral standard possible in order to earn the trust of public and preserve the integrity of our profession. As lawyers, we're happy to observe that we are today blessed with a strong and varied judiciary supported by a robust institution. In this atmosphere, we should all continue to push for the enthronement of rule of law in all aspects of the polity. Our courts have proven time and again that they are equal to the task of resolving all constitutional and legal challenges in an impartial, courageous, and effective manner. I urge that when they do their duty in this manner, we should all be guided by the decision of the court and avoid the present situation where the judicial decision and judges themselves are subjected to undue criticism and vilification on the pages of newspaper and other public fora. My Lord, I congratulate you once more. Nigeria will surely miss you. It is our prayer that Almighty God will bless you with long life, good health, and a cheerful disposition throughout the rest of your life. It is my hope that you will now find the time to comprehensively document your experiences in a biography for the benefit of the coming generation, and that you will continue to avail our country, Nigeria, and legal profession of your wise counsel and services in the days to come. My lords, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for your attention. May God bless you all. Signed, Abubakar Malami, Senior Advocate of Nigeria.
Addressed by Honorable Minister of Federal Capital Treasury, Alhaji Muhammad Bello.
My Lord, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Tanko Muhammad CFR, and Justices of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, my Lord, the President of the Court of Appeal, and all Honorable Justices of the Court of Appeal present here, my Lord, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, and all Honorable Justices of the Federal High Court present here, Your Excellency, the Governor of Kogi State, Malaya Bello, and other representatives of state governors present here, my Lords, the Chief Justices of the states, and all other honorable justices present here, our celebrant, the Chief Judge of the FCT High Court, Justice Ishaq Usman Bello, the representative of the Attorney General of the Federation, the President of the Nigerian Bar Association, representative of the Body of Senior Advocates of Nigeria, my Lord, Justices, and Your Royal Highness, the Honor of Abaji, and other Royal Highnesses present here, distinguished invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I consider it a very great honor for the opportunity to deliver an address at the validatory court session in honor of a distinguished legal luminary, humanist, and gentleman, the Honorable Justice Ishaq Usman retires today as the Chief Judge, High Court of the Federal Capital Territory. May I begin by congratulating Justice Ishaq Bello for retiring from the FCT duty closely with Justice.
My Lord, Mr. Olumide Apata, the President of the Nigerian Bar Association, has asked me to convey his apology for his inability to be here this morning. But he has, however, asked me to seek the court's kind indulgence to read his speech on his behalf. May I also respectfully adopt the earlier protocol established by the immediate past speaker to save time. Salisu Garba, Chairman of the Organizing Committee of this special stars of the committee for inviting me. When I received the invitation to address the court at this special session, I immediately scanned through the letter to see the amount of time allocated to me for the purpose for which I was invited. When I saw that I would give assigned 10 minutes, I became anxious. Anxious because I followed the progress of my Lord, Honorable Justice Ishaq Usman Bello, his stellar career through the years, his very intimidating curricular vitae, and I reckon that they are not for apologize in advance if I go beyond the allotted time. It is not my fault, it is my Lord's fault. Maybe if my Lord had achieved far less than he has, it would have been possible to accommodate all his achievements in 10 minutes or less. A lot is going to be said about my Lord today. I will therefore attempt not to repeat or preempt what others might say or have said. Let me restrict myself to those things that have enamored me to my Lord. What a jurist. A jurist that shook the conscience of the Nigerian justice system and set, and doubtless hindsight, introduced the CIMS, an information management system to help officials in the administration of justice see into the system of the nation's correctional centers to detect and manage problems. My Lord's determination to focus on the prison reforms heralded the much needed decongestion of the centers. It was only therefore fitting for my Lord to be appointed by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as the chairman of the decongestion reforms of the correctional service centers. Obviously, my Lord's humanity has shown even in the change in nomenclature from the prison service to the correctional center, in keeping with the purpose of incarceration, which is the reformation. In unwittingly preparing himself for this national assignment, my Lord has spent much of his early days in service visiting prisons and police stations for a clearer and better understanding of the areas of change and reform. The Lord speaks of always doing two things when appointed to a new judicial division: visiting the prison facilities and the police stations, to ensure, upon listening to an interview my Lord granted to the Arise TV, and I was drawn in by the depth of understanding of the criminal justice system which my Lord showed. In particular, my Lord distilled wrong incarceration practices which saw inmates who had completed their term still being held for not defraying prosecutorial expenses as ordered by the court, when there is no law mandating a convicted person to pay prosecutorial expenses. In the same interview, my Lord also showed how the press was culpable in reportage of judicial proceedings, and even proffered that judicial correspondence be made to take certain elementary courses to ensure proper reportage. I want to use this opportunity to reiterate this point, that judicial correspondence must be accredited fit to the correct reportage of judicial proceedings, and by so doing, must not fail to recognize the very impressive adoption of technology in dispensing justice under the watch of my Lord. In particular, on the use of, we have some decisions of the High Court of FCT on the court's website. Having a system where the decision of the courts can be easily accessed online is not a mere feat, given the fact that most courts, including the appellate courts, do not have such a system in place. My lords, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I've always thought that becoming a judge is one of the highest positions that anyone can attain in life, due to the enormous responsibility conferred by that position. While retiring as a judge must be considered a great achievement, retiring as the Chief Judge of the FCT High Court is no mean feat. In concluding this address, I must say with all sense of responsibility that my Lord's achievements during the FCT, the High Court of the FCT, are most enviable. I'm almost wondering if there will be anything left for my Lord's successor to do in office, considering that my Lord has greatly covered the field. But knowing the depth of the bench, the High Court of the FCT, I am certain that my Lord's successor will not only improve on my Lord's account in the coming days. Of course, this can only be the beginning of a more excellent career, even in retirement. Knowing, looking out for those exploits my Lord will be performing hereafter. And the more my Lord for similarly creating a fine balance between the very tedious task of a judicial officer and a manager of his health. It is not uncommon to have judges, justices suffer hardship of health, either in service or retirement. I use this opportunity to admonish our revered judges and justices to pay utmost